Hey guys, Legendaray here, and in today's episode we go over everything coming in Season 18 of Clash Royale, including a nice new Christmas theme, an Expo nerf, and some of the most drastic balance changes we've seen in a long time. Also, the dev team may have just hinted at 4 new updates coming in 2021. All that and more in today's episode of Clash Worlds. Hey guys, Legendaray here, and welcome back to another episode of Clash Worlds. In this not-so-weekly show, we go over the newest announcements from the Clash Royale team, the hottest topics in CR Esports, as well as what's going on in the community. Then we'll finish off the episode by breaking down the meta and featuring my off-meta Deck of the Week. If you're enjoying Clash Worlds, then please leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Also, if you guys are interested, you guys can play the game World War Do with me. There's going to be a link in the description box below, and join the Clan 69 Do. Clan War Do has just released a brand new Heroes update as well, which is pretty massive and brings a lot of new gameplay mechanics to the table. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's get right into the first section. New in the Arena. New in the Arena is where we take a look at everything the dev team has been up to this past week. This week is of course the first week of December, and with that comes the start of Season 18 called Logmas. This is a Christmas themed season, so the Clash Royale user interface will be coated with a nice winter theme. In addition to that, we're brought into a new Clashmas arena with 2 new tower skins. The first is a Clashmas sled tower skin, which can be unlocked through Pass Royale, and the other is a Logmas tower skin, which can be unlocked in the shop. There are going to be 5 new emotes this season. The first is a free Logmas tree emote that you guys can unlock all for yourself. There's going to be a bowler emote that can be unlocked through Pass Royale, a Mother Witch emote that can be unlocked in the shop, a sad bowler emote that can also be unlocked in the shop, and a lumberjack emote that can be unlocked through an in-game challenge. Last but not least, there will be 2 cards boosted for this season, the Mother Witch and the Log. Speaking of the Mother Witch, Season 18 will come with a very interesting new card called the Mother Witch. It is a 4 elixir legendary card that has a very interesting mechanic. She's a ranged troop that does very little damage and dies to a fireball, but her special mechanic is that she will place a curse on any troop that she attacks. Once that troop dies, it will actually turn into a weaker building targeting hog that will fight for you. This is such an interesting mechanic, and it's something that has not been seen whatsoever in any other Clash Royale troop, so I'm sure this is going to introduce some interesting new gameplay into the month of December. Also coming in Season 18 is of course going to be another set of balances. This month we're seeing a balance change like no other. 11 cards are seeing some major reworks and changes. Let's go ahead and take a look. Expo rework. Lifetime from 40 to 30 seconds, hit points minus 4%, hit speed slower from 0.25 to 0.3 seconds, and 30% more damage. Now this is definitely going to be a very interesting and controversial Expo rework. Overall, the Expo will actually do 9% more damage, which is a relatively sizable damage increase, but in exchange for a couple less hit points and 10 less seconds on its lifetime. This will mean that the Expo has the potential to be a lot more potent on offense, but it's going to be much more easy to deal with spells such as the Rocket and the Earthquake. In addition, the shortened lifetime will make sure that it's not going to be as oppressive on defense, since it only lasts 30 seconds instead of the previous 40. Overall, I think this is going to be a good change for Expo, and I'm really interested to see how all of those super good Expo players will react to this change. Guards buff. Hit speed plus 10%, hit points minus 32%. Now this guards buff is going to increase its damage by 11%. The guards have been a unit that really have not seen much prominence whatsoever in this meta, so in exchange for a lot of its hit points, it's going to do significantly more damage. The guards themselves will now have the same HP as skeletons, but of course they still have the shield on top of that, so I can definitely see guards making an entrance into the meta in December. Barbarian Hut nerf. hit points minus 22%. Now, the Barbarian Hut has been a card that has just become so oppressive over the last couple of weeks. The fact that you can play it down for 7 elixir and the opponent literally cannot punish that 7 elixir commitment makes it such an oppressive card. This huge Barbarian Hut nerf will make sure that the Barb Hut is going to be much more easy to take out with both spells as well as opposing units. It's still going to last the same amount of time and it's still going to spawn the same amount of barbarians, but those players will not be able to depend on the Barbarian Hut as much in order to pull off certain defenses. Graveyard nerf. Initial skeleton spawn from 2 to 2.2 seconds. This nerf means that the first skeleton from the graveyard will spawn 0.2 seconds later than previously, which actually means that the graveyard will now spawn 1 fewer skeleton. In addition, the slower initial spawn time means that players will have more time to react to the graveyard, which means it actually can be quite a bit less effective when you don't play it properly. Personally, I'm super excited for this one. I'm interested to see how graveyard decks might change. Goblin Giant buff. Hit speed from 1.7 to 1.5 seconds. Now, this Goblin Giant buff is definitely very interesting. The Goblin Giant is a card pretty much only seen in Sparky decks, and it seems like the dev team wants to change that. This Goblin Giant hit speed buff means that it'll actually do significantly more damage than normal, so definitely expect to see more Goblin Giant decks moving into December. Heal Spirit nerf. Damage minus 59%. Now, the Heal Spirit has been a card that, even though has been nerfed over the past couple of seasons, is still remaining so popular in so many different decks. This time, they're not going to be nerfing the healing potential and range of the card, but instead they're going to change how much damage the Heal Spirit actually does. This means that the Heal Spirit will not be as effective on defense, and one of the major interaction changes is that a Heal Spirit plus a Zap will actually not be enough to finish off minions. Fisherman nerf. Hit points minus 10%. The Fisherman has pretty much been the backbone of a ton of different decks, mainly Royal Giant and a couple of graveyard decks, and its effectiveness with cards such as the Hunter just make him such a deadly combination. They're decreasing the hit points of the Fisherman so that if you still know how to use the Fisherman well, you're able to pull off some insane pulls, but your opponent will also be able to take down that Fisherman much quicker than before. Witch buff. Initial skeleton spawn from 3.5 to 1 second. Finally, they're going to be buffing the Witch after so long. Now that the Witch will be able to spawn skeletons just 1 second after it gets deployed, it means that the Witch will become a much versatile card and it can be played much more reactively. Electro Wizard nerf. Damage reduced 2.5%. Now, this is just a really small change to the Electro Wizard. The dev team says that this is going to fix some rounding errors and also just provide a little bit of a tiny additional hit onto that Electro Wizard. Not much to say here. Most interactions will be staying relatively similar. The E-Wiz will just do slightly less damage. Skeleton Barrel nerf. Health minus 19%. Now, this nerf is very interesting because it brings the Skeleton Barrel to the same amount of hit points as all the other Fireball bait units, such as the Skeleton Dragons and the Magic Archer. The drop damage of the Skeleton Barrel will still hit the tower when ignored, but with just any additional air defense unit, you'll actually be able to stop that Skeleton Barrel from getting any death damage whatsoever. This will make the Skeleton Barrel much more easy to deal with because a lot of decks with Skeleton Barrel really revolve around constantly getting that Skelly Barrel death damage onto the tower for that guaranteed couple hundred damage. Bats buff. First hit speed to 0.2 seconds. Now, the Bats nerf a couple of months ago pretty much killed the card, and Bats has just not been seen in any meta decks whatsoever in the past couple of months. Now, the dev team is going to somewhat revert that nerf that they did previously, so the Bats will be just as good as they were a couple months ago. So there we go. Those are the balances coming in Season 18. 11 cards are being balanced, so we're definitely going to see a massive shift in the meta as we head into Season 18. I absolutely cannot wait to see what new decks will be popping up, and I personally cannot wait to try out some insane new decks. Next up, we've actually got a bit of a bittersweet announcement from the Clash Royale team regarding their balances. Starting in 2021, Clash Royale will actually begin to push balance changes less frequently. Instead, the dev team actually wants to make sure that the dev team wants bigger balance updates such as the one this month that will coincide with actual game updates. Now, this isn't all bad, however, because this means that the dev team is actually more free to balance cards on the fly. For example, if a card such as Royal Giant suddenly becomes super OP and oppressive in the meta, the dev team can just simply balance the card on the spot, and they won't be limited to waiting for the first week of the month in order to balance the card. On the bright side, the dev team has also said that they will have 4 updates planned for 2021, 1 for each quarter. Can't wait to see exactly what they have planned. Anyways, that's gonna do it for New in the Arena. Let's get right into the esports update. The Esports Update is a section where we go over recent esports events as well as new and rising pro players. Of course, the CRL World Finals should actually be starting later today, and it lasts from December 5th to December 6th at 12 p.m. UTC +8. Now, of course, if you're too lazy to do the time zone comparison, I'll link the CRL channel down below and you can see when that World Finals stream will actually begin. The teams for this World Finals are more stacked than ever, so we should see some of the best gameplay we've seen in the Clash Royale competitive scene. Anyways, that's gonna do it for the esports update. Let's get right into the rising rumors. This week, we've seen some amazing Clash Royale fan arts that have been produced by the community. The first one is by Redditor David RS Art, and he's made an absolutely stunning Clash Royale fight scene. These drawings are super epic, and you can actually download these images in the comments of that Reddit post. So I'll leave a link to it down in the description for those of you that are interested. Next up, we have Redditor Lenzech, who has created some 3D renders of a Sparky. There's some amazing attention to detail, so again, I'll link the post down in the description. Anyways, those are the trending topics in the community. Let's go ahead and break down the meta. The Season 18 balance changes will definitely change up the upcoming meta quite significantly. Let's take a look at a couple of changes that I believe will occur. Graveyard. This archetype will definitely see a decrease in usage in December. Not only are there nerfs to support cards such as the Barb Hut, but there's also a direct nerf to the graveyard itself. In addition, the new Mother Witch is very effective against the graveyard, turning many of the skeletons into hogs. The graveyard variants that will be more popular in Season 18, I believe, will most likely be the classic Splash Yard and Mega Knight variants. Expo. This card will see a decrease in usage in this meta. While it does do slightly more damage, the decreased health and lifetime means that Expo players will no longer be able to rely as much on the defensive Expo to control their defenses. I still believe that Expo will remain in the new meta, but the skill cap of the deck will have just been increased, at least by a little bit. P.E.K.K.A. With nerfs to cards such as Fisherman, Barb Hut, and Heal Spirit, P.E.K.K.A decks might finally see some new light in the meta. She will most likely make her way back into Control, as well as some bridge spam decks. Royal Giant. Royal Giant decks will also see a decrease in usage. The Royal Giant archetype always seems to revolve around the effectiveness of the Fisherman, so the slight tone down of Fisherman as well as other support cards such as the Heal Spirit and the Electro Wizard will directly relate to a decrease in the Royal Giant's popularity in December. Anyways, that's the meta for you guys. Now let's check out the off-meta deck of the week. That's right, in each Clash Royale episode, we're going to be featuring an off-meta deck that works in the current meta. This week's deck was submitted by Bag, and if you guys know him, he's pretty good at the game. Of course, I'm going to give one of his off-meta decks a try. So this is a very interesting dual win condition Hog Balloon deck, and I mean, just by looking at it, you can tell it's very, very crazy and quite different from a deck that you might expect in this current meta. Overall, you're going to want to play it pseudo-aggressively and utilize the double win condition to make sure that your opponent's counters are going to be constantly out of cycle. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's get right into a match. Alrighty, so looks like this match going to be against Yama from a Japanese clan. So good luck. Starting off here, I would have liked to have Hog in the starting hand just because I'm more comfortable playing that as a first play. But, you know, this is fine as well. Looks like he's running some sort of minor deck with the Knight. So it's probably a cycle deck of some sort.
So yeah, let's go Firecracker here. That'll figure out what kind of spell he has. If he has like a Fireball, okay, looks like it's an Earthquake variant here. So we're actually going to Hog in the opposite lane. Let's see here, the Firecracker should survive, and then we're gonna go in with a Lumberjack balloon push like so. His bomb tower is out of cycle. He's got a Hunter, but it looks like the balloon will actually get raged up, and it actually will get a connection onto the tower. Meanwhile, the skeletons actually almost take down that entire Hunter. So, you know, this is a pretty good start, right? So let's go in here with a Mega Minion up high. And we'll clear out those minions like so. Miner will still get some damage. I'm actually going to go into a Hog as well. He has Bomb Tower in cycle once again, so it's a little bit unfortunate. But I'm just trying to get that Bomb Tower out of cycle at this point. So, okay, let's see here. This will actually be quite tough. He has a lot of counters to both my balloon as well as my Hog, and so it's kind of hard for me to kind of out-cycle his counters. So I have to think a little bit here. So let's see. So we're gonna go with a Firecracker in the back once again. If he spends an Earthquake on that, ooh, I hope that log doesn't hit the Firecracker. Okay, it does not. So I think we go Lumberjack balloon once again. He has Hunter back in cycle, so we're going to go Skeletons. I mean, that doesn't really do much, does it? Let's think here. So I think, okay, so the Firecracker, I mean, the bomb of the balloon's gonna take all that stuff out. We're gonna go in with a Hog once again, just to protect our little thing there. Wow, the lightning, I mean, the bomb tower actually misses. We're just going to do a little push here. Log there will finish off the wall breakers for us, and 64 HP sounds like a pretty good time for me. So at this point, we're just going to, you know, try and keep control of this match here. Let's think. So we're gonna go in with a Hog here, followed up by a Log as well to clear out those archers. That will also finish off the tower for us. And okay, 23 seconds left, so probably Miner in the back. Oh shoot, I think both Firecrackers will, both wall breakers will connect. That's a little unfortunate, but I think we're still going to be okay coming out of this one. We're gonna Hog here once again, save up Elixir for a Lightning. Actually, you know what? We're actually just going to completely save our Elixir here. It looks like he may take our tower, but we're just going to go in with a Balloon Lumberjack push in the opposite lane, because if he would have taken one of my towers, I feel pretty confident that his other one would have gone down as well. So nice and comfortable victory against a Miner cycle deck. So there we go, guys. That was the off-meta deck of the week. It's actually a really fun deck to play. The double win condition definitely adds a really interesting factor to your gameplay. So definitely recommend you guys give this deck a try. But unfortunately, guys, that's all I've got time for in today's episode. Huge thanks to all of my channel members. You guys are the absolute G's. If you enjoyed, please leave a like down below, as well as a subscription to my channel. And as always, this is Legendaray, and I'm signing off. See you guys next time.